Man, I think we need to buckle up and get ready because I'm telling you. Now, a lot of times in our excitement, we can be led astray. Not necessarily in what we're hearing, but in the immediacy of it or anything like that, But because of that, that doesn't mean you should shy away from what the Lord's telling you. You just got to come back and let it cook, right? Say, Lord, what are you saying? Listen, man, Michelle is my witness. God is my witness. We have been getting the number 67 for weeks now. And I'm just like, God, what are you saying with this 67 thing? 67. What is the 67? I have no idea. And Michelle just told me a couple days ago, like, that's like a thing? Did you realize that was like a thing? It's like a thing in pop culture. People say 6 and 7. And I'm just like, no, I've never heard of that until this moment. You're talking to me about it. What does that mean? And she was like, I don't even think people know what it means. They just say it. It's like a pop thing that's like popular now. I'm like, oh, that's crazy. That's crazy. I'm like, okay. And so I just felt like, okay, now is the time for me to release this, because I just felt like, man, this is a very big deal. Like, God is really speaking this 67, and I believe it's a 6-7. And what does it mean? These are the things that I'm getting as a result of it. God created the earth in 6 days, then he rested on the seventh. And it was a very set apart time. 6 was all the same kind of thing, and then 7th was something different, right? They surrounded Jericho once for 6 days, but on the 7th day, it was different. On the 7th day, it was different, okay? And I just feel like the Lord is saying, you have done, there has been a work of man in obedience to the Lord that we have done all the way up through the 6th time, the 6th day, the 6th dip, whatever it is. Because you see, on the 7th dip for Naaman, that's when he got his healing, okay? That's when God was like, now I'm stepping in, okay? And I just feel that. I feel like the Lord is saying, now I'm stepping in. We're stepping into a 7 moment. We're going from 6 to 7. What does that mean? Number 6 represents man and man's effort. The creation of man happened on day 6. But there's a limit to it. There's only so much that man can do. Even man connected with God. There has to be a 7th day, a 7th moment, a 7th time, a 7 times around on the 7th day type of thing where God shows up in his divine, phenomenal, cosmic, sovereign power, and he does what only he can do, defying physics and the laws of science as we know it, everything. And he parts seas, he parts rivers, he cleanses leprosy, he does miracles, okay? I'm just saying, Jesus was like a walking 7, he just walked around doing only things that only God could do. You know what I'm saying? And I just feel like that is what's happening. I feel like this number 67 for us right now, as God's applying it, is saying, man's time is over. I'm stepping up. Remember that whole Freddie Freeman stepping up to bat grand slam thing? And the Lord saying, hey, there's going to come a time where I'm going to step up to bat, and I'm going to knock it out of the park for all of my people. And everyone who's on the base that they have occupied, they're going to just run. I just feel like that is what the Lord is saying. That's what he's talking about. And there was such an urgency. Now, remember, I've been carrying this for a while, but I just felt an urgency. I couldn't even finish editing my video that I just did. And the Lord's like, we need to do this video, do this. And I'm like, ooh, okay, cool. I'm just being obedient, I'm doing what I can do, Listen to me. Listen to this. I feel like the Lord's saying, this is another example of what I'm talking about. Jesus told them to go fill up these basins with water. They did what they could do. Now it's time for him to do what he could do, and he turned the water to wine, right? But this is a great example. Elijah told the people, whoever he was talking to in the moment, said, fill up the jars and dump it on the sacrifice. Because he's like, God doesn't want anybody saying, oh, well, it was dry offering and it was at night and there might have been a little spark. And no, he's like, I don't want anyone saying that. And I want you to take the 4 jars and I want you to dump it on there and do that 3 times. Now, after they did all that they knew to do, and even Elijah coming and saying his prayer, that was all he knew to do. He's like, I've done all of this at your word. And then the Lord came down with fire from heaven and consumed everything. He didn't just consume the offering. He consumed the altar. He consumed the dust. He consumed it all. What is God saying through that picture? He's saying, I'm about to consume it all. I'm about to take it all up. Okay, I'm about to take it all up. For those of you who have ever had dogs or you have dogs, if you dare to, now some people don't do this and that's fine, but if you dare to put like a plate on the floor, on the ground, and then your dog's like, oh, I can attack that, and they go and attack it, trust me, there will not be a sliver of gravy left on that plate. They will lick it all up. Okay, that's what the Lord's about to do. He's about to lick it all up. Okay, he is about to come in and show himself strong and remind the earth who is God. Now, you want to know the truth? There's going to be some people that see this and they're going to be amazed by it, and it's just going to strengthen and embolden them to be more wicked. They're going to go run and hide for a while, but they're not going to turn. They're not going to repent. They're just going to be afraid, and they're going to wait for a different moment. Kind of like when Jesus rebuked the enemy. He's like, away from me, Satan. It said he left him. He stood away and for a time until it was more opportune for him to try to attack him again. And he tried a couple different times. And then he eventually succeeded. It's funny. The devil's greatest success was also his greatest failure. Think about that. But I just feel like that's what the Lord's saying. We're going from having done all we know to do to watching him see what he's going to do. The earth is going to see the glory of God. We're all going to see it. And many of us will be very glad. So buckle up, man. It's coming.